What is the impact of globalization on local cultures? Globalization refers to the increasing interconnectedness and interdependence of the world's economies, cultures, and populations. Its impact on local cultures can be both profound and multifaceted. Here's an overview of how globalization influences local cultures. 1. Cultural exchange and diversity. Globalization facilitates cultural exchange by making it easier for people to share and experience different cultures. Local cultures are enriched through exposure to diverse traditions, cuisines, arts, and practices from around the world. This exchange promotes cultural diversity and can lead to a greater appreciation for different ways of life. 2. Preservation of local traditions. While globalization often introduces new cultural elements, it can also help preserve local traditions by raising awareness and interest in them. Global platforms like social media and online communities provide venues for showcasing and celebrating local cultural practices, thus helping to keep them alive in a globalized world. 3. Cultural homogenization. One of the major concerns of globalization is cultural homogenization, where dominant cultures, often from economically powerful countries, overshadow local cultures. The widespread influence of Western media, fashion, and consumer products can lead to the erosion of distinct cultural identities and practices, as local cultures adopt elements from dominant global cultures. 4. Economic impact on local arts and crafts. Globalization affects local arts and crafts through both positive and negative channels. On one hand, local artisans can reach global markets, expanding their customer base and increasing economic opportunities. On the other hand, the mass production of cheaper alternatives can undermine traditional craftsmanship and threaten the livelihood of local artisans. 5. Changes in lifestyle and consumption. Globalization influences local lifestyles and consumption patterns. The availability of global brands, fast food, and modern technology can shift local preferences and habits. While this can lead to increased convenience and access to new products, it can also contribute to the decline of traditional practices and dietary customs. 6. Language and communication. The spread of global languages, particularly English, impacts local languages and dialects. While English can facilitate international communication and access to global opportunities, it can also lead to the marginalization or loss of local languages. Efforts to preserve and revitalize endangered languages are essential to maintaining cultural diversity. 7. Shifts in cultural norms and values. Globalization can lead to shifts in cultural norms and values as people are exposed to different societal models. This exposure can challenge traditional beliefs and practices, leading to changes in social behaviors and attitudes. For example, global movements advocating for gender equality and human rights may influence local cultural norms. 8. Tourism and cultural exchange. Tourism, driven by globalization, brings people from different cultures into contact, facilitating cultural exchange and understanding. While tourism can provide economic benefits and encourage cultural appreciation, it can also lead to the commercialization and exploitation of local cultures, potentially altering traditional practices to cater to tourists. 9. Impact on local media and entertainment. Globalization affects local media and entertainment industries by increasing competition from international media sources. Local films, music, and television shows may face challenges from global content, which can influence local media consumption patterns. However, local media can also leverage global platforms to reach wider audiences. 10. Cultural adaptation and hybridization. Globalization can lead to cultural adaptation and hybridization, where local cultures incorporate elements from global influences to create new, blended forms of cultural expression. This hybridization can lead to innovative cultural practices and new artistic expressions, reflecting the dynamic nature of culture in a globalized world. 11. Social and community impact. Globalization can impact local communities by changing social structures and dynamics. The influx of global ideas and practices can alter community interactions, family structures, and social institutions. Communities may need to adapt to these changes while striving to maintain their cultural integrity. 12. Resistance and cultural revival. In response to the challenges posed by globalization, some local communities engage in cultural revival and resistance efforts. These movements aim to reclaim and preserve traditional practices, languages, and identities in the face of global pressures. Such efforts can strengthen local cultural resilience and foster a renewed appreciation for indigenous traditions. In conclusion, globalization has a complex impact on local cultures, encompassing both opportunities and challenges. While it facilitates cultural exchange and enriches local traditions, it can also lead to cultural homogenization, shifts in values, and changes in lifestyle. Balancing the benefits of global interconnectedness with the need to preserve and celebrate local cultural identities is crucial for maintaining cultural diversity in a globalized world.